So what do we have on your table, Lou?
We have the books, We All Grieve Differently, as well as the t-shirts for sale today, the shirts and the book. And I also bought from my other business, my paparazzi business, we have an inspirational line. So I bought inspirational necklaces and bracelets. They say faith, peace, peace be still. Some of them say, let your light shine. So I just bought some inspirational pieces in case they wanted to get something in addition to the book.
Wonderful, thank you. One of the visionaries for this amazing project. And what do we have here?
Yes. So what I did as an extension of the Grieve book, I thought, a little bit differently, and I transitioned into healing. So I want to actually help people transition from hurt and grief to healing. And so what I did was invested in some Black-owned businesses, created a journal with resources and prompts so that it can actually help guide people through. And in addition to that, so the person who did my book cover, the person who did the interior design, all Black-owned businesses. And then in addition to that, locally Black-owned business, candle maker. So I worked with her to actually customize candles that represent peace, that represent healing. So we created this line, and then last but not least, the smaller candles, they represent the 5 stages of grief. However, it's opposite. So instead of talking about anger and disbelief, shock, we turned it into positive things, and we talk about comfort, and we also talk about strength, praying, and trust. So just the flip of it, and I really want people to heal and not sit in their grief. Amen. So actually 1 year anniversary. We're so excited. Book has made a tremendous impact to so many, not only to us individually, but just so many people have come up to us, and that was the intent. We really wanted this to be a heart project. We really wanted it to make impact. But for our beautiful co-authors, we promised them that we were going to do an in-person session. And so we kept our promise, and here we are today. So, and my whole story is about the goodness of God, just trying to explain to people that what's written in the Bible is so true if you let Him. So to give your burdens to Him.
I lost her mother. I lost my mother in 2009. She just lost her mother. I don't know what to say. And then she calls, I'm on vacation, and she's like, oh, I want to write this book about my mom. I'm like, yeah, she's tripping. She needs a therapist yesterday. Because I'm like, she's doing too much. She needs to relax. But all in the same breath, it opened me up because I said, I've been wanting to write about my mother's shoes, which is the title of my chapter. Say we started out doing this because there was some hard work that needed to be done. But what I know I didn't realize it was actually going to be a part of my healing, my journey, my grief process was being a part of writing this book, hearing these stories,
But I just thank God for Latasha and the Dream for just reeling me in and to be able to help with this project. It has truly been a blessing, more so to me than I ever expected. Because
everyone, my name is Diotha Sweat, and this book, I had no idea that when I joined this group that I would not only deal with this, but I lost my stepfather the month that we launched this book, and then I lost my brother in August of this year, of last year. So this book became a anchor. I seen Latasha's post on Facebook about, hey, we're looking for authors to do We All Grieve Differently, and it tugged at my heart. And I said, that's the book that I have a book in me, but that's the one. And so we have to make sure that we answer and we pay attention to God's call and in the direction that you're supposed to be in.
And next up, we have Lisa, which is so unique. Lisa penned her husband's story.
Say that this book gives me cred with my students because I'm like, listen, y'all need to listen to me because I'm an author. Look it up. Learn this English today. I will say the experience for me, seeing him releasing those, I mean, I knew going through it, I'm married to him, I knew that it was difficult for him, but to actually see him go through that process and the steps that are in the book that you go through, and me being able to help him, and now him being able to see what he has, giving it to other men coming back to him because he's like, oh, this.
Hello, my name is Devetta Henderson, and the title of my chapter is All I Could Do is Grieve. However, having gone through this process, I should have named it All I Could Do was Cry, because that's what I have done through the whole process, whether it was happy tears, sad tears, memory tears. God is so awesome in the way he connects the dots and the way he connects people. We were like 5 minutes before time to have the book, your chapter done, and my partner and I, we're on the phone like, I can't do it, because I'm crying, and you can't write and cry, you can't type, you can't see, I'm trying to type it, I'm trying to wipe my eyes, I'm like, I can't do it. But I just want to thank you all. Thank you for the opportunity. This has been a blessing to me and to many people that I have been in contact with.
Thank you for that. So, hello everybody, my name is Diane Jackson. The title of my chapter is called Mother Montage. And like she said, it's a little bit different because my mother is actually alive. However, I grew up in the foster system, so I did suffer the loss of her, and the loss of the ideal of what I wanted her to be. And so basically, my story is like that journey of acceptance and learning to look at what God gave me, and counselors and teachers and mentors, and appreciating those mother figures, and not holding on to, oh, I don't have this, but celebrating the fact that I had all this. And there's a scripture that he brought to me years ago that says, where your mother or father forsake you, I'll take you up. And so that was his way to say, like, you know, I'm never leaving you without substance or sustenance in your time of loss. And
Grew up with my paternal grandparents, which is a bit untraditional because usually people grow up with their maternal grandparents. Usually if you're going to be raised by your grandparents, it's usually your mother's parents. I was dropped off at my paternal grandparents' house when I was 3 months old. They didn't even know I existed. My mother told them that she was going to the doctors and she would be back, and she never came back. Despite the fact that I was dropped off at a doorstep and raised by 54 and 55-year-old people who didn't know I was going to be there, they reminded me, I am not your parent. You need to honor your mother and father.
Thank you all for being a part of this project. Thank you all for sharing your stories and helping us to become a #1 Amazon bestseller. Yes, so thank you all.